This video contains spoilers for Kingdom Manga chapter 697, so if you've yet to read it, pause the video, go read it, and come back and keep watching. You have been warned. At the end of chapter 697, Sei's army arrives at Kanki's encampment, which leaves us with the question, what is going to happen to Kanki? Now, we're going to start off going over the two least likely outcomes, which are Sei wants to demote Kanki, or Kanki turns himself in, right? Now, in the chapter review, I talked about how if Kanki decided to just turn himself in, be like, you know what, it was worth it, you can arrest me, I knew this was coming, lock me up, put me in the cellar for the rest of my life, it's worth it to avenge Raido. Like I said in the review, that would be the biggest amount of character developed for a character in all of recorded history in a short period of time. It was like 3 chapters from like when Sei's army has just arrived and then when Kanki did this shit. Like the amount of character development, that would be insane. We've never, it's unprecedented. We've never seen anything like it. And equally as, you know, and I don't think that's an actual possibility. I would be absolutely dumbfounded if that's what ends up happening. And I think it's equally as unlikely that Sei's choice here is to just demote Kanki from the Kin 6, right? That was Rishi's whole speech last in the chapter was just kind of like, oh, you know, we shouldn't have made him one of the Kin 6. But given the fact that Sei has mustered this entire squad of soldiers, like, it's hard to tell, you know, you can't always be like, oh, you know, it looks like a big army, but it might only be a few thousand, whatever, but it seems to be fairly sizable, and the fact that Sei himself went there, it's just not feasible that what's going to end up happening is he goes, Kanki, I've come here to tell you that you're no longer one of the Kin 6. Like, okay, you couldn't send that with a carrier pigeon, you know, like, what the fuck? So those two options are interesting to say the least, but, you know, completely unlikely. It's, you know, one of those things where both of these characters have very strong resolves. Well, Sei's got strong resolve. I wouldn't say Kanki's got strong resolve, just that Kanki does his own thing. He lives life to his own creed, so he's not going to turn himself in. If he does, I mean, shit. If you comment on this video right now, if Kanki ends up turning himself in and you genuinely believe he's going to do that, I'll Venmo you $5. You just comment below, you get $5 straight to your Venmo if that's what you think is going to happen. That's how confident I am that he's not going to do that. Now that we've gotten the two most improbable possibilities out of the way, let's cover the most terrifying, which is a civil war breaking out. So, if Sei comes in and his plan is to either kill or imprison Kanki, Kanki's not going to roll over, lie on his back, and let himself be captured. He's going to fight back, and it's also possible that he was anticipating this. He may have, when he gave that order, when he said, kill everyone, all must die, all must suffer for Raido, he might have already been thinking, okay, I don't think the king's gonna like that. I mean, it is a war crime. I mean, I think it's fucking great, but that is kind of a war crime, so the king might send an army to come capture me. What would I do in that situation? And there's been 9 days, so he had a lot of time to plan of something like that. So if he was that cunning and that forward thinking, it's possible that even if he is outnumbered, it's hard to tell exactly the numbers that Sei brought. You can't always tell based on, you know, are there hills, how many people are there actually. But depending on the numbers and, you know, we had 9 days for everyone to heal up from the battle. Obviously there are people with more severe injuries that wouldn't be able to fight, but a lot of the top fighters should be good to go on Kanki's side. So they could just, you know, get up and start fighting, and we know that these are elite troops that Sei has brought in, but they're not used to the bandit style. That backwoods, fighting dirty, mischief, victory at any cost style. If you're not used to that, it can catch you off guard. We saw what the Sun Bin did to Kocho. And, you know, Sei is in a dangerous spot here too. The king is there. And depending on how loyal Kanki is to Kin, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a bandit. And obviously he loves the freedom that he now has as one of the Kin 6, you know, being that general with absolute authority. You know, he stayed in Kin obviously because it served his purposes and gave him that freedom to kind of do whatever the fuck he wanted. But now, with the king right there, he's like, oh shit, well, he's here to capture me. I can't stay in Kin. might as well kill this little bitch. I know I said in the chapter he might snipe him or something, but he could just like ride out and like meet face to face with him and then just fucking stab him or something. Not out of the question, and I am genuinely worried for Sei. And if Sei does end up getting hurt as a result of fighting breaking out, you know the first person to run in will be Shin. And if that happens, I think I mentioned this in the review too, if Sei gets hurt at all because of Kanki, Shin is going to unleash hell upon Kanki. And it's also possible that, let's say, Sei's army starts losing and Kanki's looking like he's going to win, and Shin hears about that. He's like, guys, we got to go, and he can come in last minute and help save them. The Yotanwa army is also relatively nearby too, so if this really turns into something large scale, they could come help as well. So there's definitely a lot of people nearby on Kin's side to help deal with Kanki if he starts fighting back. But like I said, Kanki's a cunning guy, and he's had 9 days to plan. In the event that, you know, he gives that order, he knew that, okay, the king's not going to let me just get away with this shit. If he does have a plan to deal with those soldiers, and it could get bad, it could get ugly real quick, and some real terrible things could happen. I mean, Shobun-kun's there. I was looking in that panel, I couldn't explicitly see Shohei-kun, but I obviously Sei's front and center, and I do see Shobun-kun there. If you saw Shohei-kun, let me know. Be interesting, but it's very scary stuff to think about, the fact that a lot of our favorite characters are kind of in danger here, and you're looking at Kanki like, oof. The Civil War outcome is one of those things where I hope it doesn't happen for Kin's sake, but it would also be really cool to get to see some infighting like that. But we'll just have to wait. Now, one of the two most likely outcomes in this scenario is Kanki either running away or Sei excommunicating him, ultimately resulting in him kind of leaving Kin. Now, there's kind of two options from this, right? If he ends up just kind of leaving, being like, all right, whatever, you know, maybe Sei's army's there to replace the Kanki army. He's like, all right, Kanki, you're no longer a member of Kin. Leave. Kanki be like, all right, whatever, I don't give a shit about Kin. We'll survive on our own. Army, come with me, let's go, right? And then Sei's army replaces the Kanki army for the rest of the invasion, right? From there, what could Kanki do? He could join another state, you know? All he has to do is kind of walk up, be like, hey, look, I know I'm a sick, twisted fuck. I mean, he wouldn't say that. But they'd be thinking, be like, hey guys, look, you might not like me, you might even be afraid of me and think I'm terrible, but I've got Kin secrets, baby. Make me a general. Bring me in, you will not regret it. And, I mean, if I'm one of the other states in China right now, that's hard to pass up. Kin has been on a rampage recently, and to have the opportunity to get some of those inside secrets, and then Kanki, one of the Kin 6, I mean, that's a hard opportunity to pass up. But there's also this other option here, kind of hidden beneath it all, which is he joins up with Ousen. We've got all this territory in Zhao that we're starting to take over, and Ousen's ambition is what? To become a king. And they have a history. They were under Mogo for a long time, it sounded like. And, you know, I don't think they're necessarily best buds. I don't think they, like, text each other nightly, like, oh, good night, Ousen, good night, Kanki. But, you know, they probably have a lot of mutual respect for one another, and Kanki might be like, all right, Ousen, let's just hole up in one of these, you know, cities. We can make it work. We've already seen how good Ousen is at constructing natural forces. In the Battle of Konkoku Pass, what did he do? He built a fortress in nature that impressed an actual mountain tribe. That is ridiculous. So the fact that he could maybe hole up in one of these cities that they've taken down, I mean, terrifying. And then, I mean, what are they going to do? Sei's army going to try and take it over, like join up with Shin, Yotanwa? Like, I feel like Ousen plus Kanki working together, holding down a fortress, I mean, you're going to need some real firepower. Like, we're going to have to fucking revive Oki and be like, all right, Oki, go deal with the defector of the O clan. Like, what the fuck is that? It really is terrifying to think about those two joining up, but it's also very possible. It's something that's kind of been on my mind throughout this entire arc, is that Ousen's one of the Kin 6. He has that freedom, that authority, and we're taking over cities and we're far away from Kin. You know, we're not close enough. Like, if he really did want to take over one of these cities and be like, this is my kingdom now, it starts here, it would take a while for everyone back at Kanyo to find out and for them to deal with it. So it's a very real and scary possibility that Ousen is just like, oh, Kanki has to leave kin now. This is perfect. We can just use one of these cities. They won't be able to touch us because obviously Ousen's a fucking genius. Plus with Kanki and all of his men, how are you beating that? It's very terrifying, and I think it's one of the most likely possibilities. It's, it's right there. It makes sense. The pieces seem to fall into place well. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's one of the possibilities I'm really excited about. I think it'd be really cool because this whole time that we've been reading Kingdom, we've been hearing this, oh, Ousen wants to be a king. He wants to have his own kingdom. It's going to happen eventually. I think it would be a big mistake for him to never secede from kin and try this. I feel like at some point in this story, that is going to happen, and maybe it's right now. With Kanki, kind of on the back ropes here, not looking like he's got much of a future with kin, that could happen really, really. Now, I know I'm personally super excited at the idea of Kanki and Ousen joining up, but what I think is most likely going to happen is Zhao coming in and attacking right as Sei arrives. So Ten was saying like, "Oh Shin, we have to defend Kanki. His army's in shambles. They can't protect themselves. Zhao's going to be pissed off. We need to protect him in the event that something happens." And then we get that 9-day time skip, so it's safe to assume that nothing too major happened. Like maybe some small like stragglers came in and were like, "Oh fuck you, Kanki," and like they were dealt with. And it's also possible that maybe something severe happened and someone got hurt during that time, and we're just waiting to see until the Kanki stuff's all with, and then we're gonna be like, "Oh shit!" Like, someone from Shin's army got really hurt or whatever, right? It's possible. We just don't know until we see. But it, based on what Ten was saying, and she's like, "Oh, they're gonna attack," and then we get that time skip. It really makes me think that what actually is gonna end up happening is, Zhao's like, "Look, wait, calm down. We're all heated and enraged right now. This is literally the worst tragedy that it could ever possibly happen. But if we just go in guns a-blazing, that's, we might not be able to succeed. We're going to muster every single troop that we can find. We're going to build the largest possible army and send them all at Kanki. We don't care if we have to forfeit the entire state of Zhao to do this. We need Kanki's head. We will not let our citizens' deaths go unjustified." And if that happens, you'll be in a situation where you have this massive army of Zhao coming in, and Sei's army they're going to have to fight. They're not going to be able to just deal with Kanki right away. And it could lead to a situation where they can't, deal with the size of the army in front of them, and they're going to have to rely on Kanki's army. And Kanki, in that position, he might be in his head and like, "Oh, well, my life's over either way. He's going to kill me, throw me in prison." So he's just going to sit in his chair, lay back, and be like, and, just chilling, like, no one move. No soldiers do anything. And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Trust me, I got this." And then what's going to happen? They're going to send messengers to Kanki. Maybe even Sei himself will go and be like, "Look, we have to. We need you to join us. You have to fight alongside us or we're all going to die." And Kanki's just going to be like, "I mean, I'm dead either way, right? You're either going to kill me or throw me in prison for the rest of my life. So unless you guarantee me my life, I will not lay a finger on this battle. I will not move a single man. We will not provide you any support." Or he could even just leave at that point too. Be like, "Oh, fuck you guys, out." It's possible. Yeah, but I think it's more likely he sits there and goes, "Look, I'm dead either way. So unless you guarantee me my life, nope." And then, maybe not Sei shows up, but maybe Shobun-kun is the one who goes to try and talk to him. And then they go back and Sei's like, "No, Shobun-kun, we can't do that. We can't allow him to have his life. Like, we have to imprison him or kill him or whatever." And Shobun-kun's like, look, Sei, I get it. We all hate Kanki just as much as you do, but here's the thing. We're all going to die here. You can't unify China if Zhao takes your head while they're trying to avenge their fallen soldiers, right? So, you know what? As much as it sucks, we can just excommunicate them. Just say, "All right, you know what? You're banished from the state of kin. Never show your face here again." And, at that point, Kanki might not even fight back and be like, "Oh, I'm excommunicated? Then why would I help you fight? I'm going to help Zhao fight." Probably not. Like, Zhao would never let him in after what he did, but one of the other states, like I was talking about earlier, he's got that information, so he's like, all right, peace out, guys. You have fun dealing with that. And, you know, we've got some other generals, like the High Shin unit as well. Everyone's kind of within close enough range that hopefully they'd be able to get there before Sei was defeated and killed or something. But it really is a terrifying thought that Kanki could just leave as Zhao attacks, because he's like, all right, well, if you're not going to guarantee me my life, I'm not going to fight in this battle. Fuck that. I'm just going to fight for my life that's not even existence? No way. And the idea of Zhao attacking makes a lot of sense, especially, you know, given everything that's happened. They're not going to just let these people's deaths go by unjustified. I don't see that happening. And the fact that we got that 9-day time skip really does make me believe that what's going to end up happening is like a large force specifically designed to come capture Kanki could be headed that way, and Sei's army is going to have to maybe get distracted. And maybe, you know, we know Shin was about to, you know, do the general's duty, as the name of the chapter suggests, right? So maybe Shin's army's holding them off, and Sei's like, all right, fuck. All right, everyone go support Shin. Like, he can't handle the 300,000 people Zhao just sent to avenge everyone. Like, you know, they're going to have, like, women, children, all there. Just, we do not care what it takes to take Kanki's head. And Shin's just going to be like, oh, we don't have enough people. Like, that's a huge-ass army. And then Sei will arrive, and I'm like, the fuck are you doing out here, Sei? He's like, we're here to deal with Kanki. And then Ten's gonna be like, I fucking told you, Shin, like, you dumbass. Like, he'll be justified. He'll be brought to justice, right? So it's one of those things. We'll just have to wait and see. Really, really exciting stuff going on in Kingdom right now, guys. Let me know what you think, though. If I missed something, if you have another idea of what could happen in this situation, let me know in the comments below, because I'm really excited for what's to come in Kingdom. We've got so much to look forward to, and things are getting spicy. It's looking buck.